everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Amber here, and basically today, as you can tell by the title, I'm going to be talking about the time that I got involved in a pro self-harm, pro ANA, pro bulimia, whatever, pro ED community, and the group that I kind of fell into and that really pushed me over the edge, sort of. Disclaimer, if you get triggered by this stuff, I would just click out of it now because, you know, obviously I don't want to trigger anyone, and I obviously do not condone any of this stuff. I don't support this stuff or anything. I'm just talking about my experience and what I dealt with and everything like that. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. So basically, before I can even begin to talk about how I fell into this, I kind of need to talk about my food issues and stuff like that, and weight issues and body image and everything like that. Okay, so as a kid, I was never really insecure, if that makes sense. I've always, I've always loved myself. I've always had a deep understanding of myself, but I always was a little chubby. I was always a little overweight and stuff like that ever since I was a kid, and I never really understood why, considering that the two other people that I grew up with, I don't know if they're watching this, but if you know who you are, they were kind of like my cousins and everything. Yeah, they were always so skinny, and I never understood why I was sort of the chubby one out of the three of us. That kind of stuck with me over time. Basically, I was fine up until 2016, which was when I got into freshman year of high school, and I was just not in a good place. I was dealing with a lot at the time. I was already dealing with my depression and stuff that developed, and I was in a toxic relationship and everything like that, and he was also really skinny too, so the guy that I was with. I also spent a lot of time online. I spent a lot of time on Tumblr, which is where I fell into this. I spent a lot of time on, just online talking to people, making online friends and stuff like that. And I had a Tumblr account for aesthetic things. I love looking at clothes and stuff like that. And I made a lot of online friends at the time on Tumblr. And this one online friend that I had, she obviously, I come to find out that she had two blogs. She had one for, her regular blog that she kept, and then she had another. I don't really know if I should give names, so I'm just gonna say this friend because I'm not really gonna mention her. But yeah, she had two blogs, and one was a Thinspiration blog. If you don't know what a Thinspiration, it basically is inspiration to be thin and, be a certain weight and everything. I was basically friends with her, and we were already friends for a couple months or something. So the blog that she posted her aesthetic stuff on, she accidentally forgot to switch accounts, and she posted this sort of inspiration type photo. It was a skinny girl, had really nice clothes on and everything, and she was super skinny. Yeah, I saw that, and I saw the hashtags that she posted underneath the photo, because you can add hashtags and stuff. And it was hashtag pro Anna, hashtag Anna, hashtag Mia, stuff, just all these different hashtags and stuff. I thought that girl on the photo looked so pretty. I was wow, she's so I've never seen someone so thin. At first it was taboo, I didn't understand and everything. Little did I know what I was getting myself into. I started looking at those hashtags, and I noticed that it was sort of a whole community there. There was a whole bunch of people that did this and, post stuff and everything. I was confused. I was I already knew about eating disorders bulimia, anorexia and stuff like that, but I didn't know that people helped each other out. That makes sense. That gave tips and stuff, and did it online and stuff, and talked about it online and everything. This is a whole new thing for me, and so I just started venturing into it, and I was curious about it, and so I just started looking at all that stuff, and I told my friend, I was yeah, I saw your post by accident. She was freaking out and everything because she didn't want anyone to find out about it, and I was what is it and everything, and she basically explained to me everything. We were very open with each other, but this is one thing that she didn't really tell me. And being the little 15-year-old that I was, I'm 17 now, by the way, being the like 15-year-old I was so curious, and I always wanted to lose weight, but I never really done anything about it. I always had like issues with like eating healthy and stuff like that. I always ate like junk food and stuff. I was like, I think I want to lose weight. I think this would be a good way, which is so stupid for me to think, but you know, I got to know about it and everything, and I ended up being obsessed with all this like the inspiration stuff. I was happy with my weight at the time, but I also wanted to feel like I would look better if I was skinnier. I always felt that way, honestly. It's just kind of sad, but it's true. Yeah, so I just became obsessed with it. My friend really like gave me all the terms and helped me understand it and everything, and she like helped me get to know certain blogs and like showed me different things that I would probably like and everything. And I began to have sort of eating disorder sort of behavior, like without even me thinking that it was bad or anything. I sort of just got this idea that it was everyone trying to help each other, you know, be the best version of themselves, being healthy, but it wasn't healthy at all, actually. It was like very toxic and everything, and I was already self-harming. I already had depression and everything, so this has just made me feel even worse about myself. Over time, I came across like different things, and I made my own blog. I ended up making my own blog, and it ended up getting like 14,000 followers or something on it, before it got deleted, obviously. It was very, very dark. Is that the best way to explain it? Very weird, because you felt like you were finally doing something right when you wouldn't eat, or you would fast, or, you know, you would count your calories and stuff like that. And I finally felt like I belonged. I finally felt like I had a place to fit in, because the people I would talk to would like make me feel good about myself and everything, even though they were also like tearing me down at the same time. I ended up coming across this one hashtag. I don't really remember what it was, but it was like one of the pro eating disorder hashtag. This one person was looking for like members to join their Kick group. And if you don't know what Kick is, it was like a very popular like text messaging app like back like a little before, you know, Instagram and everything. And so I, you know, I already had one from like middle school, and I just like got back on it because, you know, after a while Kick wasn't popular anymore. So like that's where everyone would go, like everyone who wanted to be like in a secret group and like talk about things very private and everything. It was like a little ED community. I messaged them and I was like, I want to join and everything. So they gave me their Kick, and I added them and everything, and they added me into this group. It was a group about like 4 or 5 people, 4 or 5 of us. The person that added me in there was the leader. They basically told everyone everything. They were the skinniest ones in the group. They were the lowest weight. I think they were like 85 or something like that, and they were like 6 foot, so that's like extremely underweight anyways. But yeah, so I joined in there, and we really bonded and everything at first. At first it was fine. At first it felt like sort of a support group, but then I learned over time that it was more strict. It was more about counting your calories. It was about tracking how long you could fast. We would have competitions on see who could fast the longest and who could lose the most weight in like 5 days or something. And I just found such a fascination with it. I was infatuated by it because it was like my own little world where I could express my depression, express how I felt, and I had underlying insecurities that I didn't know I had really, because I pushed them away like so far in my mind. And it really shined a light on my insecurities. I was kind of brainwashed into this behavior. When I joined this group, it was only tryouts. Like this was like tryouts to be in like another group where it was like more strict. So at first, you know, obviously since it was tryouts, it was like a lot more lenient. It was not as intense as it was, as the actual one was. Basically we would just count calories and like keep track of how we felt and everything, and like talk to each other, gave each other like tips on how to like, you know, lose weight fast and everything. And after a while we finally got into the actual group, and we found out that it was a lot more strict. Like the leader, like we all like bonded with each other so much that we didn't want to lose each other. Like we wanted to stay in the group because we felt like we belonged. Eventually like the leader of the group, they got way more mean, they got way more strict, they started insulting us more, they started to tear us down more. And we would have this thing called meanspiration, or meanspo for short, where we would write little paragraphs about how fat each other was and how disgusting we were and why we should eat and this and that, why we shouldn't do this or that. And it worked. It worked. And it was weird because you felt loved for hurting yourself. You felt accepted for being in that group, even though you secretly wanted to get better, but at the same time you sort of loved it. You sort of loved the control and everything. And for me, it wasn't even about my body necessarily. Like, I was okay with the way my body looked and everything, but I was brainwashed into it. And I was like, if I'm not this certain number on the scale, if I don't weigh this amount of pounds, then I'm not worthy of anything. I'm not, you know, no one's gonna love me. It was sort of that sort of thing. It wasn't, for me, it wasn't even like the way my body looked, if that makes sense. I mean, yeah, I wanted to lose weight, but I was so fixated on the number on the scale, and it was all about numbers. It became all about numbers and controlling, like, numbers and everything. And that's, like, really got worse, is because, you know, people telling me that I would look better if I was this certain weight, or I looked this certain way. Anyway, so we would have different activities in the group, and we would do body checks. We would literally take pictures of ourselves, like, half naked, like, to show, like, the leader of the group our progress on losing weight and stuff like that, to make sure that we were actually doing it right. And if we didn't do something right, we got 3 strikes. Each strike is if we didn't do something right, or, you know, everything. Like, if we binged or something, or we talked back to the leader or something. And the leader was, like, way older than us. So they had a lot more control over us. Like, most of us was just, like, 14, 15-year-olds. I think there was, like, one 16-year-old. But yeah, they were way younger. We were way younger than them. And so we looked up to them because they were super skinny and everything. And, you know, they'd done this for a long time. So we obviously thought that they knew what they were talking about. It's a lot. Because I can't believe I allowed myself to be brainwashed like that. Because I wanted so bad to fit in. Aside from just body checks, we would have to track how much we were eating. We had to track what we ate that day, how much of what we ate was, how many calories we ate for each meal. And we had to track how often we were fasting, and we had to track how much weight we lost. And we also had to take videos of ourselves working out to prove that we were working out and we were doing what we were supposed to be doing and everything. And the sad part is that it fucking worked. It worked. I went from, like, 120, like, almost 130 to 112. I went to 112 pounds, and I felt so alive. I felt so confident, you know, and not even, I mean, I could obviously see the way my body was changing. I was getting skinnier and everything. But the thing is that I loved the fact of the number. Like, I loved the way it said 112 pounds when I looked at it. And that's when it got really toxic, because I loved it. I got so malnourished from doing that, and I already have hypoglycemia, which, if you don't know, is like low blood sugar. And I'm not supposed to be skipping meals. I'm not supposed to be fasting and everything. I can literally die that way, but I didn't care. I didn't care, because all that mattered to me was being accepted, was being told that I looked better, being told, congratulations, you finally did this right. You have so much control, because at the time I didn't have any control over anything else. It felt like it was just a whole shit situation, basically. And I didn't get any skinnier after that. I didn't get any skinnier because I couldn't do it anymore. I remember one time I ended up standing up for myself and for, like, you know, in the group at the time, because the group leader was like, the only reason that we're in this group is that nobody has talent and we're basically worthless nothings, or something like that. They said something on the lines of that. And I said, actually, I have talent. I sing. I write. I'm a good singer. I know I'm good. And when I told them that, the rest of the people in the group were being supportive, but the leader was like, oh really, you can sing, I don't believe in you and stuff. So I sent it. I sent a video of me singing, and it was actually really good. Like, I loved it, and everyone told me I was good at it. And the leader just acted like I sounded pitchy and acted like they knew what they were talking about, when in reality they probably didn't. I don't know. It just tore my self-esteem down, and they were good at it. They knew exactly what to say and everything, and singing was such an important thing to me at the time, and it still is, but not as much as it was. It was something that I felt really confident about, and they basically told me that I wasn't good at it, and I believed them at the time because I looked up to them so much. And it was so not worth it. It was so not worth it because I could have been doing the right things. I could have been losing weight the healthy way. And the sad thing is that as soon as I know I had to leave that group. I know I had to get out, and it kind of fell apart. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't take the emotional abuse and, you know, the criticism and everything. So I just left the group. I left it. I fucking left it. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I just left. I didn't think about it. I just left, and I never went back on there ever again. On Kick, anyways. I went back to Tumblr a couple more times. And, yeah, I just looking back on it now, it's just sad that I had to do that to myself and allow myself to get treated that way just because I wanted to fit in so bad. But, you know, when you're young, obviously everyone wants to fit in, but when you're young, validation is so important to you. At least it was for me anyways. So yeah, I also like the attention I was getting. If you don't know, I'm a Leo, so I love attention, not gonna lie. I like the attention that I got. People telling me that I looked better when I was skinny. People telling me that I would look better if I dropped like 20 pounds. Yeah, anyways, after that group, I left, and my Tumblr blog for Pro Anna and stuff just got deleted, and obviously, and everything. Sorry this was a bit of a ramble. It was sort of all over the place. Yeah, basically I just was brainwashed into thinking that this was healthy behavior when it absolutely was not. And yeah, it only lasted for like a couple months, but in those months, like about 5 or 6 months, it can do a lot to you. I just started fasting a lot. I started to waste away, but I didn't care. So that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you can relate, or you, obviously anyone who struggled with sort of eating disorder type behavior. I mean, I know mine wasn't as worse as anyone else's, but it definitely did have a big impact on me, and it did make me very suicidal, and I was definitely brainwashed into it for a couple months. And even after that, I still had lasting damaging effects on my self-esteem and everything. It lasted for a long time. Even still, like, I'm not insecure necessarily, but I still have recurring thoughts sometimes. It's just like, what if I looked better if I was skinny? What if I looked better like this or like that? Honestly, it doesn't matter what weight you are, what you look like. It matters what's on the inside. And to anyone who is dealing with eating disorders, or anyone who deals with depression or anything, any like bad mental health issues or anything, you're definitely loved. You deserve to live. Like, you actually deserve to be healthy. Now, honestly, I would rather be healthy and feel good and be a little overweight than be underweight and be skinny and literally be wasting away and not be able to do anything and not be able to have energy to, or any will to live. I want everyone to be healthy, and to not only just your body but in your mind too. Have a healthy mind, because that's what's really important. So yeah, I'm gonna end this video here. Just know that your life is definitely worth it, and you are not your eating disorder. You are not your negative thoughts. You are so much more better than that. And yeah.